Donald Trump's disastrous appearance at the National Association of Black Journalists convention in Chicago came to an abrupt end when he was asked about a specific topic. Just when things were about to get super interesting, the Trump campaign called the interview. I'll show you guys that moment, plus some other highlights from the event coming right up. Things got off to a rough start when ABC News' Rachel Scott asked Trump about some racist comments he's made in the past. Watch this.
Now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
Now that Kamala Harris is Donald Trump's opponent in the presidential race, and her campaign brings so much energy and excitement and is so fresh, these old dusty talking points from Donald Trump, like saying fake news, just don't have the sting that they once did. Now, Rachel Scott of ABC News is a complete professional, one of the best in the business, so she was not rattled by Donald Trump's outrageous remarks. And she followed that up with a question about Kamala Harris being a DEI hire, which a lot of Republicans are saying. Watch Donald Trump's ridiculous response.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't.
Now that's a moment people are going to remember. For somebody like Donald Trump to question whether or not Kamala Harris is black is just a road you don't want to go down. This is why people accuse Donald Trump of being racist, because this is birtherism 2.0. Speaking of racism, Donald Trump recently said that all police in America should have immunity. And the reporters on stage challenged Trump on this by citing a recent case of an unarmed black woman shot by police, asking Donald Trump why that police officer should receive immunity. And Donald Trump showed that he has no idea what police immunity is all about. Watch this.
Sadia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You've said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either.
Okay.
But again, why would...
Are they going to be charging the officer? I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens.
This bozo has no idea what he's talking about, and more people are starting to see it. And speaking of not knowing what he's talking about, Donald Trump was confronted about the Republican Party and him continuing to say that Democrats support abortion up until the time of birth and even afterwards. Watch him get called out on this.
Do you think the Republican Party is getting a little bit too judgy about people's lives when you think about abortion or when you think about what J.D. Vance is saying?
I don't think, look, I think that the Democrat Party is really the one that has the problem. I think they're radical on abortion because they're allowing abortion in the 9th month. They're allowing the death of a baby after the baby is born, based on the governor of Virginia. Based on the governor of Virginia, they're allowing the death of the baby after it's born. They're allowing abortions in the...
Good on those reporters calling him out on this nonsense. I'm tired of hearing about it. Trump was also asked about his remarks in regards to pardoning violent January 6th rioters. Watch his response here.
What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to the people that tried to
My question is on those rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to ask,
would you pardon those people?
What's going to happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just under...
I love the audience laughing at Donald Trump. That's exactly the response he deserves when he says these outrageous things. He was also called out about his comments about migrants taking black jobs.
Why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And
Mr. President,
they're taking the employment away from black people.
Donald Trump has had over a month to revisit this talking point and find a way to spin it in a positive way. When he first said that migrants are taking black jobs at the debate with Joe Biden, everybody was shocked and so many people were insulted, and rightfully so. And now he, instead of coming up with some other excuse or explaining it in a positive way, Donald Trump just simply doubles down, and you can hear the gasps from people in the room. And I guarantee there are millions of people across America having the same exact response. And that brings us to the abrupt ending of the interview after just over 30 minutes. Donald Trump was about to be asked about a hot topic that a lot of people are interested in right now, and the interview was stopped. Watch.
Remember, they're taking your jobs. These people coming in are taking your jobs.
Project 2025.
I think we have to leave it there by the Trump team.
All right.
So leave it. That is the last word. Thank you so much, Mr. Trump, for coming today and joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
They've been telling us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, isn't that interesting? Once Donald Trump is asked a question about Project 2025, the interview is all out of time. It says a lot about Donald Trump that he has no policy positions to offer the black community except to say I'll stem the flow of migrants into America because they're taking black jobs. How hard would it be for the Republican Party to come up with some policy positions that benefit the black community? Whether it's expanding the child tax credit, forgiving student loans, investing in distressed communities, whatever. This isn't that complicated. But instead, Donald Trump insults the crowd by saying these ridiculous talking points, and I think people are fed up with this. Now that Kamala Harris is in the race, she brings a fresh perspective with some exciting, energetic ideas that benefit all of America with a hopeful vision for the future. And now that people can see Donald Trump in all his sadness with these old talking points that are just full of hatred and anger, I don't think people are interested in this MAGA movement. I think it's wonderful that Donald Trump got confronted at the National Association of Black Journalists convention. Trump and MAGA need to know just how unpopular they are in America, and we're going to let them know just that in the November election.